श्रीपाद श्रीवल्लभत्वं सदैव श्रीदत्तास्मान् पाहि देवाधिदेव भावग्राह्य क्लेशहारिं सुकीर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। त्वं नो माता त्वं पिता प्तोऽधिपस्त्वं त्राता योग क्षेमकृत् सद्गुरुस्त्वं त्वं सर्वस्वं नो प्रभो विश्वमूर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। पापं तापं व्याधिमादिं च दैन्यं भीतिं क्लेशं त्वं हराशुत्वदन्यम् त्रातारन्नो वीक्ष ईशास्त्रजूर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। नान्यस्त्राता न पिता न भर्ता त्वत्तो देव त्वं शरण्योकहर्ता कुर्वात्रेयानुग्रहं पूर्णराते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। धर्मे प्रीतिं सन्मतिं देवभक्तिं सत्सङ्गाप्तिं देहि भुक्तिं च मुक्तिं भावासक्तिं चाखिलानन्दमूर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। श्लोकपञ्चकमेतद्यो लोकमङ्गलवर्धनम् प्रपठेन्नियतो भक्त्या श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत् श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत् श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत् श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत्। श्रीपादराजं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीपाद श्रीवल्लभ चरितामृतम Chapter 42 Chanting of Prayer. Datta Digambara, Datta Digambara, Sripada Vallabha Datta Digambara. Started by Pithikapura residents for the first time, which became universally famous. Sri Sreepada gave his divine darshana always to his parents, Bapanarya, Narasimha Varma and Painda Venkatappaya Shreshthi. This chapter is to be read for tracing missing children. After lunch, Sri Bhaskara Pandit narrated in the following manner. All the Brahmins considered the various acts of Sri Sreepada, such as giving Datta Diksha in the houses of Shudras, that too giving Diksha for a single night, giving Diksha without following the regulations such as worship, ritual, and simply tying a thread on the wrists of devotees and making them do bhajanas, declaring himself as Datta and announcing that all the difficulties of devotees would be eradicated by merely remembering him. All the Brahmins unanimously decided that all the above acts of omission and commission were violation of Shastras. They resolved to submit the matter to Shankaracharya and expel Shri Bapanarya and Appalaraja Sharma from the Brahmin caste. However, in the meanwhile, the sudden disappearance of Sri Sreepada became a matter for discussion. In spiritual matters, no title would be announced without the permission of Sri Shankaracharya. Such being the case, it was thought that it would be a treason against divinity to declare a boy who was not even 16 years of age as an incarnation of Lord Datta himself. Therefore, some Brahmins who were hypocrites came to the house of Sri Bapanarya ostensibly to express sympathy. No one in the house was sad because of the disappearance of Sri Sreepada Srivallabha. To top it all, Sri Bapanarya said, "Now Datta is flourishing very remarkably. That great Lord moved in our house in the form of Sripada Srivallabha. He gave us heavenly happiness. He removed the layer of Maya covering our eyes. Today, He is moving in the wink of our eyes. He gave His divine darshana to our inner vision more number of times than before. We are very fortunate." The visiting Brahmins were taken aback. From there, they went to the house of Sri Sreepada Srivallabha with polluted ideas inside but outwardly to utter sympathetic words. There, Sumati Maharani, Appalaraja Sharma, brothers and sisters of Sripada were all extremely happy. Then Sri Sharma averred, "Previously, we had lot of anxieties about Sripada. Now, our minds became light. He is appearing before our mental eyes as soon as we think about him. He is talking with us with gross body as soon as we wish. Our births were blessed because we happened to be the parents of Lord Datta himself. We are having unprecedented happiness." The circumstances there were quite contrary to the expectations of the Brahmins. Sri Painda Venkatappaya Shreshthi said like this, "Oh, noble Brahmins, previously we were spending only few hours with Sri Sreepada, but now he is not only constantly moving before our mental eyes, but also appearing with his physical body and roaming in our house." Sri Narasimha Varma said to the Brahmins, "The veils of Maya which shrouded our eyes are removed. That great Lord who is an eternal reveler, rejoicer of divine delight, is moving in our house. He is cracking jokes with us and is with us, behind us, and is continually in our sight. He is giving us darshana in his physical body more than before. These matters were conveyed to the Sanyasi in Kukkuteshwara temple. Agitation started in the bosom of the Sanyasi. His thoughts ran like this. Sri Sreepada clearly suggested that he was verily Lord Datta himself and disappeared. Without the name of another deity or some other deity, Sripada mentioned himself as Sri Dattatreya, who is his Upasya deity. Probably, Sri Dattatreya incarnated in the form of Sripada Srivallabha. If his incarnation is true, then it would be equally true that he would face difficulties in the future. Lord Datta is of queer nature. He would bring difficulties to him, see the fun, and rescue only after his total surrender. That is his nature. I thought that it was the mercy of Lord Datta that so many Brahmins honored me on a large scale and money was amassed on a grand scale. In the form of Sri Datta's mercy, were there any special punishments earmarked for me only? Lord Datta knew my hankering for name and fame, money and pelf. The Brahmins who followed me were also after money. There was no spiritual power to me or to these Brahmins. Datta Deekshas were designed only to attract money. In case their desires are not fulfilled, those who undertook these Deekshas think it was their failure in due observance of Deeksha. If their wishes are fulfilled, they believe it was the result of the Deeksha. Is not Sri Sreepada going to push me into troubles through some queer and peculiar procedure? In this way, that Sanyasi was trembling with fear. In the meantime, an old Brahmin came to Kukkuteshwara temple. He said his name was Narasimha Khan and that he belonged to the lineage of sage Kashyapa and that he came from Maharashtra Desha especially for the darshana of great Lord Kukkuteshwara. He added that he heard that a Paramahamsa Parivrajaka was giving Datta Deekshas there and that he came there to have his darshana. He concealed many varahas near his navel. He offered all those coins as dakshina. On receipt of money, the sannyasi was filled with immense joy. At the time of initiation, the sannyasi asked the old Brahmin to stretch his hand so that he can pour water from the kamandalu. The Brahmin stretched his hand. Along with water, a scorpion fell into his hand. Then the tone of that Brahmin turned stubborn. He said, "You poured water into my hand and asked me to drink. What a wonder! The fruits of your tapa earned from so many years were solemnly endowed to me. I am bestowing them in turn to Pithikapuram." Sanyasi was wonderstruck. The old Brahmin disappeared in a moment. Suddenly, one Brahmin cried that he was bitten by a scorpion. That Brahmin was one among those who took Deeksha. An incantation as an antidote for scorpion bite was applied on him. The pain did not subside. Various mantras were chanted, but there was no improvement. Abhisheka was performed to Kukkuteshwara. A large quantity of camphor was lit. That Brahmin fainted. Foam was coming from his mouth. It was confirmed that he was bitten by a snake and not a scorpion. Some people noticed that a scorpion fell into the hands of the old Maharashtrian Brahmin in the water from the Kamandalu. Therefore, some people said that scorpion might have bitten the Brahmin. God only knows what sort of rumors originate, circulate, and involve people in what kind of troubles at any moment in Pithikapur. Some people were suspecting that the Sanyasi who gave those Datta Dikshas was mainly responsible for the non-reduction of the pain to the Brahmin from scorpion bite, in spite of performance of Abhisheka to Kukkuteshwara and Camphor Arati to self-manifested Datta. In place of coins offered by the old Brahmin from Maharashtra, coals were there. The heartbeat of the sannyasi fluctuated violently with fear that Sri Sreepada Srivallabha might have come in this fashion to punish him. As large volume of foam came from the mouth of the Brahmin, it was decided that it was a case of snake bite. A kind of propaganda gained momentum that there was a kind of vidya known only to koyas and chenchus who move in hills and dales and who were well versed in mantras and tantras, that the sannyasi applied that vidya on this Brahmin, that according to that vidya, a ghost will emerge from water in the shape of a scorpion. After biting someone, that scorpion changes as a serpent. The moment it changes as a serpent, foam comes out of the person bitten by the scorpion. That serpent transforms itself as a ghost after some time. That the person bitten by the scorpion starts jumping madly after the serpent changes into a ghost. And that the ghost after some time enters into the houses of others following the wish of the person releasing it, and that it steals money from those houses and pours it into the hands of its master. Poor Sanyasi did not know that this Pithikapuram was the hometown of all rumors. The Brahmin who was vomiting foam got up after some time. He was jumping due to some kind of pain in his stomach. Rumors spread that he will change as a devil after some time because he was jumping. It was suggested that everyone should write, "Oh devil, come tomorrow," before their houses. And on seeing that writing, the devil would depart, and this affair will repeat every day like this on account of this writing. People were cautioned that if the devil enters into the house, it will steal and take away money from the house. All the Brahmins who were supporting the sannyasi so far abandoned him and went to their houses. Without exception, on the outside of every Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya house, it was written, "O devil, come tomorrow," in charcoal. A cultivator named Venkaya arranged proclamation by beat of tom-tom that a pot filled with coals must be carefully kept in the houses of all Shudras, and by this the devil sent by the sannyasi will not steal money from Shudra houses. After some time, the Brahmin who jumped madly with pain recovered. In the meanwhile, a farmer approached the Brahmin in Kukkuteshwara temple and said, "Sir, our caste chief Venkayya wanted to give you the mantra akshatas given by Sri Sreepada. You will become healthy from the efficacy of those mantra akshatas." Then that Brahmin thought like this: "Now the ailment abated, but I may become really a devil at any moment as per the rumors in circulation. Perhaps, according to the stipulation laid down, those mantrakshatas have to be collected from the Shudra house. Brahmins give mantrakshatas to Shudras, but Shudras would not summon Brahmins to their houses and give mantrakshatas. A gentle Venkayya sent for me, wishing only for my welfare." With such feelings, he received mantrakshatas from Venkayya and went home. As a result of the rumors spread in Pithikapuram, the faith of all castes on Sanyasi was lost. Then all of them thought it was not correct to give dakshinas to a sannyasi well versed in witchcraft. They took refund of the dakshina money from the sannyasi. They sent away the sannyasi without beating him. They asked Sri Bapanarya what to do with all that money. Sri Bapanarya said, "Arrange to bring provisions with that money. Provide a grand feast to all castes. Lord of Annadana, Sri Dattatreya will be pleased. No individual deekshas are necessary." Sheds on a grand scale were constructed opposite to Kukkuteshwara temple. A food feast was arranged to all 18 types of castes. All people for the first time chanted the divine name, Datta Digambara, Datta Digambara, Sripada Vallabha Datta Digambara. Sri Sreepada averred long ago that this name will spread all over the world. Victory! Victory to Sri Sreepada Srivallabha! Here ends the 42nd chapter of Sripada Srivallabha Charitaamritham.
Karito Preme tuzani ranjana sira muniya mana. Karito Preme tuzani ranjana sira muniya mana. Dattatreya Sadguru Varya, Dattatreya Sadguru Varya, Bhavathe Karuna. Karito Preme tuzani ranjana sthira muniya mana. Karito Preme tuzani ranjana sthira muniya mana. धरणी वर नर पीडित झाले भवरोगे सर्व. काम क्रोधादि करिपुवर्गे व्यापुनि सगर्व. धरणी वर नर पीडित झाले भवरोगे सर्व. काम क्रोधादि करिपुवर्गे व्यापुनि सगर्व. योग याग तपदान नेणती असतहि अपूर्व. सुलभपणे निज भजने त्यासी, सुलभपणे निज भजने त्यासी. उधरी जो सर्वा प्रतिबोलति त्रयमूर्ति अत्रिमुनींच्या सदनीतीन्ही देवभुके येति भिक्षुकी होवुनि अनसूजे प्रतिबोलति त्रयमूर्ति नग्न होवुनि हां हां प्रतिद अन्न असे वदति परिसुनि होवुनि नगन अन्नदे परिसुनि होवुनि नगन अन्नदे तव ते शिशु होती करितो प्रेमे तुझ निरांजन स्थिर हुनिया मन करितो प्रेमे तुझ निरांजन स्थिर हुनिया मन दुर्वासाभिदमौनि जाहला शम्भु प्रमथेन्द्र ब्रह्मदेवतो जहला चन्द्र जहलतो उपेन्द्र दुर्वासाभिदमौनि जाहला